Navigate to the main menu and click on Charges. Click Enter Charges and the charge entry screen will open up. One of the unique features of Practice Suite's charge entry screen is its ability to provide three-dimensional views. I can see all the appointments for a given date, and I can use these arrows to navigate through them, or use this calendar to pick a particular date of service and see what number of patients were seen on this date and the statuses of these patients. For example, the first 3 patients here don't have any charges, but the patients were seen. If you want to edit any patient information, you can go ahead and click on this Edit button, and you can add or update any information for that patient. Look at patient number 5, Daniel Christensen. I can see that this charge has already been entered and has been posted to the primary insurance, and here the primary insurance is Operating Engineers. Whereas patient number 4, Jerry Jefferson, is in the status of New. When I click on this is the charge that has been entered from the amount and has been pushed into the billing side. And the charges can flow from Practice Suite's billing suite or from any externally integrated system. This screen lets us know that this patient has been seen and has a charge waiting in New status. It will show us the diagnosis codes, CPT codes, and will also show patient alerts. In this case, the patient's benefit maximum has been reached. If I click on this, I can see what patient benefit has been reached and when. I can take action on this, or I can just close it. Up at the top, we can see this green arrow, indicating that the charge was created from the EMR and the encounter note was completed successfully. Clicking on Narration will open up the actual encounter note that was created by the doctor or physician on the clinical side. Looking at this, we can see the charge code and the ICD codes that were populated from the clinical side. Coming back to the charge entry screen, we can see that this ICD code here is in red and invalid. We can click here to select the correct code, and the system will let us know by turning green and showing that it is now a valid code. Down here we have a procedure code, 99214, and as a biller, I can modify these, adding any needed changes. And if you want to add an extra line, you can do so by clicking this plus sign here. In addition, Practice Suite has the ability to override certain charges. For example, in some specialties, you'll have 5 lines of charges, but you don't want to send them all to the insurance company. They're just for internal purposes. So you can do an override on this and say that it is an admin code. In another case, I could have a line that has not been paid by the patient, so I can force it as billed to PT or billed to patient. I can also bill to the guarantor, which is billed to GR. The lines can also be set to hold. Here we can add any additional information on this charge, such as the referring provider. I can click here and say same as rendering provider, and I can see that the information automatically populates. If, however, it's an outside referral, I can select that here and fill in the field. I can select authorization. If there's an existing authorization, I can select it from the list, or click the plus sign and add a brand new authorization for this charge. Additional information on condition, accident, lab, and others can all be entered from here. Once everything is set up and all the information has been filled in, you can come down and change the status to bill to PR or bill to primary. At this point, I can force the charge to be on an HCFA or CMS 1500 form with these bubbles down here. By default, the system will generate an electric claim or paper claim depending on the payer setup of that claim. If instead you'd like to put the charge on hold, you would select Hold from this drop down here. And then you would go to Notes. There's a report that Practice Suite provides called Super Bill Tally, which can be used to see a list of charges that are on hold and the comments associated with those charges to find out why they're on hold. When you select and save as Billed to Primary, the charge will change to green back over here on the left. When you do it as Hold, the charge will change to orange. Each of the super bills also gets assigned a unique number. For tracking purposes, Practice Suite also has the ability to enter batch numbers on the charges, so if you want to set up certain claims in a batch, you can do so here. This has been a quick overview on how to enter charges.